Exeter, obviously, really tough side. They front up physically. They did so against Leicester last week, and I suppose Leicester showed what you need to do to beat them.
Yeah, Leicester were good for their win. They put a lot of pressure on Exeter, particularly in that first half, and stopped them playing the natural game. Exeter, I think have publicly said that they were disappointed that they didn't play enough rugby against Leicester. So it's pretty obvious to see what they're going to do coming up here. It should be a cracking match. It should really be a cracking match. And if you go off the back of our last game against them down there, which was probably one of the matches of the season, we can expect something similar, because you'll have both sides with an intent to play rugby.
And matches between the two clubs the last couple of years, I suppose since they really found their feet in the Premiership, have been exceptionally tight. So I suppose that just sort of all adds to the mix, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's funny that certain sides play against each other, and there's a certain style and dynamic to the game. And as you rightly say, all the games at Exeter have been very tight and close affairs. Strangely enough, even though the rugby is quite open.
Dave Lewis obviously went down there in the summer. I suppose he'll know a little bit about you, and you'll know a little bit about him.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll have given some information to the coaching staff at Exeter as to what we're doing, and that's fine. We've moved on, so that's never an issue. It can never become an issue. But Dave is a good player. He was unfortunate, really, not get as many opportunities as he wanted here last year. But it's because of the strength and depth that we had in that position, and he's moved on to get more rugby, and that's what he's probably getting at Exeter right now. He's very dangerous around the fringes. And the boys will have trained with him for a good few years now and know his strengths.
How's James Hudson?
Good. Yeah, it's good to have him available for selection.
And is he ready if you needed him to start, or is that just sort of a little way away still yet?
No, he's ready to start. We prepared him well. It was probably a little bit too early against Newcastle, because we didn't want to risk sort of re-injuring that injury. But now he's 100% ready to go, and he certainly adds something to this pack.
Yeah, I suppose it's that specialist at the line-out, and the pack's, I think, improved as the season's gone on so far, but he just adds something extra, doesn't he? Yeah,
it does. And in the long term, it might not be a bad thing that he wasn't available at early doors, because other people had to step up and take that responsibility. To have Hado available now to come back and just naturally take that leadership role in the pack, with the development of the other guys around him in the 4 previous games, will add a lot of depth to our ability in the line-out.
And Huey obviously played in the A-League game on Monday. Is he ready for first team action yet, bearing in mind Corey's suspended?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is available.
I suppose it's just like some of your quality big hitters, especially in the pack, coming back available. It's presumably nice selection problems to have.
It's great, it's a great position to be in, and as you say, we sort of weathered the early storm in terms of performance and results. We've got a little bit of momentum now, and we're having players coming back from fitness, so it's a good position to be in.
Just don't want to be on tenterhooks for the last minute.
No. We're pretty good at doing that. I've told the players I'm not going to live a long life coaching them, but I've accepted that. And we went through some scenarios in today's session as well, in terms of managing those last 5 minutes, because we tend to find we have to. In actual fact, when you look at a game against Newcastle, if we'd have dealt with our opportunities better, we wouldn't have been in that situation, and that's what we've got to get right, really. We'd never want to be in a position where we have to win a game or get a bonus point in the last 5 minutes. We have found ourselves in that case in a lot of instances, and we've dealt with it reasonably well, but the aim is that we can pull away from teams earlier by controlling the game for larger parts than we do, but also when we do control games, is finishing the opportunities that we create.
And what is it at the moment that's stopping you being as clinical as you'd like to be? Is it white line fever? Is it final pass going astray? What is it?
It's a very good question. I just think some of it is just still coming to terms with our game, still coming to terms with the players around each other, the communication between players, the small talk, as I call it, between players, so that the guy on the ball knows what's on, and I try to get the players' necks from the guy on the ball to make those decisions for them. And if that communication isn't quite working, then you do get breakdowns when you've created those opportunities. So it's just a continual work on and being comfortable. And once it starts to click and it starts to happen, everybody just gains momentum and confidence. The fact that we're creating them in the first instance and being exposed to those situations is very pleasing. But we've got to be a lot more clinical.
Thank you. Good luck.